Our body craves safety. And when I say our body craves safety, what I mean is our nervous system craves safety. Our nervous system. And our nervous system or our body is our subconscious mind in a sense. So our nervous system is our subconscious. Our subconscious stores memories, traumas, data, past experiences. It stores everything that's the hardware of the computer drive, right? And our subconscious mind or nervous system is responsible for 95% of our automatic behaviors, actions, thoughts, which then wire our identity. And our identity is who we believe ourselves to be. It is the personality that creates our personal reality, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says. So, to rewire our personality, the way that we see ourselves, so we can then manifest not just our desired physique, our dream body, but make the lifestyle stick and not just be this thing that you're, on again, off again. And yes, that is a part of the process. Nobody's perfect. I don't know anybody who maintains this perfect streak of consistency, and this is just who they are. But if you're listening to this, you're probably in that in between space, or you're looking to get started and you don't really know where to start, or you've taken some steps but you just have a lot of questions still, right? Where you have one foot in that old identity, right, of who you've been up until this point, and you have one foot reaching towards this new identity, this version of you that meal preps consistently and makes time for the gym non-negotiable, and prioritizes movement and goes to bed on time and wakes up in the morning, and she abstains from alcohol when she can. She still has a social life, and the version of you that you desire to become, right? And so to rewire who we've been is to move into new territory. And new territory for a system, a hardware that is built for survival, not thrival. That's not a word, but we're going to use it as one, is seen as a threat to the entire system. But sometimes that doesn't show up as panic or fear. Not always. Sometimes it shows up as sneaky little habits, the little things. Staying up too late, scrolling, being consistent for a few weeks, and then you get comfortable. You lose a little bit of weight and then you get comfortable. You start to make progress and then you start to kind of, again, get complacent. You get too cocky. You wake up late. You don't have time for yourself. You're scattered, running around, inconsistent. Avoidance, procrastination, distractions, escapism, manifesting situations where you have no choice but to quote unquote put things on pause. Delays, constant delaying and putting things into the future where time doesn't exist. Time does not exist. Like if we were to take away the constructs of calendar and clock, it's just space. And you're delaying something into the future based off of this thing that doesn't exist. And you can tell yourself excuses or reasons because, oh, I have this coming up and that coming up. I'm sorry, when are you not going to have anything? Even in those moments of a clear schedule or a clean slate, it's only going to last so long before something else comes into your schedule. So you're only fooling yourself. I've been there, so I get it. But this is how our subconscious mind, again, you're unconsciously doing and saying these things, tries to keep us safe. But what is safe is not really what makes us happy, right? Because if you're not being challenged in life, if you're not feeling that pressure, because not all pressure is built the same, if you're not entering that pressure cooker of growth, then you're probably in the same spot, or you're doing things that make you feel like you're making progress, or that, but like are actually not moving the needle forward. You're consuming information about doing the thing. You're planning to do the thing. You're in motion on doing the thing. You're collecting inspiration on doing the thing. You're doing low commitment things like 6-week challenge. And again, nothing wrong with that. We're running a 6-week challenge later this year, and I would love for you to be a part of it. But you're doing like these like short-term things that are not actually you committing to the hard shit, which is actually being consistent when it's boring, when you're busy, when you don't feel like it, right? When you're not getting immediate gratification or progress. So how do we rewire this? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I have been through this myself. All in all, guys, we have to get our subconscious mind, our nervous system, our body, the thing that runs 95% of our daily automatic behaviors, actions, patterns. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why are we not talking about this enough? We have to get your subconscious mind on board with your body goals. We have to create safety in the body or subconscious mind with your desired outcome. This can apply to money. This can apply to wanting to own your own business. This can apply to solo travel. This can apply to love and actually feeling safe in a healthy, passionate relationship without being hyper vigilant, right? Needing to control or force or like always be in control of everything, or at least channel that control in a healthy way. We have to create that safety within ourselves, but it's not safety first, action second. And I think that's where we can get tripped up. It's like, okay, I need to create safety. I need to create safety. I need to do healing. I need to rewire my subconscious mind, and then I'll take action. No. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. It's through the aligned action steps that we get triggered and the opportunities to then create safety in the fucking subconscious mind, in our bodies, to then manifest the things that we want. Right? Example. I want to get in shape. I want to get toned. I want to lean out. You've been doing group classes. You've been doing hot yoga, hot Pilates. It helped in the beginning. None of that shit is going to actually transform your physique. Trust me, I love that. I'm going to yoga tomorrow. I do pole dance. I do pole fitness. You know, I did Pilates for a little bit, Legree, love it. None of that is going to actually build your physique like weights will. It's just the science. I don't know what to tell you. Especially if you feel like my genetics. Well, girl, get in the gym. And so then you say, okay, I want to do that. And you go to the gym. And guess what the gym is going to trigger? Anxiety, insecurity, self-judgment, all that are shadows that are coming up because they've been there the whole fucking time. It's just that growth is the opportunity that wakes them up and activates it in you. So that way you can shift it and heal it. But you don't get that opportunity if you just stay at home, if you just stay in the group classes because that's where you feel comfortable. If you just stay doing what you're doing because that's your comfort zone. You say that you want to transform your physique. You say that you want to understand how to properly fuel your body and understand your intake. And you want to learn how to track your macros. But then you start learning and it feels too complicated. It's too much work. That is another shadow. You learning, the learning curve. This is an opportunity for you to shift and grow and heal. Another example, you actually reach your weight loss goal, but every single time you lose the weight, the habits slip. Because the plan that you're doing does not actually set you up for success. It doesn't have an exit strategy. There is no, okay, now what after this to set you up for success? But it's not only that, it's that your motivation dips after because you've reached the goal. And the thing that was driving you is no longer there. The pain of feeling uncomfortable in your clothes and not liking the way you look and, you know, not wanting to take pictures and all this stuff, that pain is gone. So what is going to continue to drive you forward? And this is when we go from pain to pleasure. This is when we create a vision. This is where real manifestation takes place, because it's no longer around moving away from something that can motivate you for sure for a good amount of time. And not wanting to get back to that place can definitely keep you in a better place. But if you're still in this place of stagnancy or complacency of, I'm not where I was, which is great, but I'm not where I want to be yet, then this is the conversation you need. Your conscious mind, consciously, you want to feel hot in your clothes. Consciously, you want to feel strong and unstoppable, organized and focused. But your nervous system or your subconscious mind might be scared of the body and the life that you say that you want. And that's okay. That's a part of growth and manifesting and creating your dream life and dream body. It's available for you. If you can feel it in your body, if you can see it in your mind, if it's a desire that you have, period, it's because there is a version of you in a parallel reality that has that desire and is literally has it. You just have to have the right steps to get there. So yes, having the right nutrition, having the right training plan, but like, good luck getting there with the right nutrition, the right training plan, but not the right mindset, not addressing your internal world, not addressing your fears, your emotions, your nervous system. It doesn't happen. Okay, guys? There was a point in time in my journey where I realized that it was so much deeper than just macros and training. I knew how to track my macros. I literally reached my body goals, but then I don't like to use the word self-sabotage, but I would self-sabotage. I would start to go back to old habits. I would start to get comfortable. I would start to get cocky. I would start to get complacent. I would start to lose motivation. I would start to get bored. I start to make excuses. I would start to drink more, smoke more. All of a sudden, I'm like, how the fuck did I get back here? How am I back here? Because my body and my brain didn't have this long-term vision of constantly moving the needle forward of like where I want to be and how I want to get better. I just wanted to get to that certain place and like I was good, right? And you think that once you get to that place you're good. You don't have to like do anything else. You just like maintain. But if it was that simple, like if it was that simple, it would like everybody would be walking around like chilling. That's not the case. Everybody's in these high highs, low lows, this yo-yo diet cycle. Because my subconscious mind, what my body was used to, what my nervous system was used to, was literally that cycle of gaining and losing the same 10 to 15 pounds. And you might be in that cycle. Or you're in that place of always chasing weight loss, but never actually being able to stick to a calorie deficit. So you always have this weight loss goal, but you're never actually losing the weight. And then you say, oh, something's wrong with me, my metabolism, my hormones, and that might be a thing, but I promise you're not the exception to the rule of the law of thermodynamics. Why do you think these GLP-1 shots, like these fucking shots just create, like they literally just reduce your appetite and then you literally just create a calorie deficit? It's like, come on. So the more that when I started to realize that, oh shit, like it's so much deeper than just macros and training. Like every single time I get to this point, I get back to the point that I was like, and I started to do more research. I started to look inward. I'm like, there's something deeper here. And it's not just positive thinking. It was my subconscious mind. And so I've been there. And this is why I teach what I teach today in our programs, in these podcasts. The more that we create awareness around awareness, wake up, listen to your thoughts. You're just letting them fucking run. You feel anxious. Why do you feel anxious, babes? Because your thoughts are making you anxious, but you're not aware of them. You have to turn the volume up. You have to become the observer of the mind. What does it mean to be the observer of the mind? This is why I love meditation, because meditation gets you to that place of presence, of who am I behind these thoughts, right? Right? The soul, the seat of the soul. Okay? The best analogy I can create for the observer of the mind, being the observer, is I want you to visualize or see or picture that you're a mountain. You're a mountain in the sky, and the mountain is your true authentic self. The mountain is your soul. It's your spirit. It's God that sits within you. That highest self, that wise intuition version of you that knows. And then every cloud, every bird, every fucking butterfly that passes by is simply a thought form. And this comes from your ego. It comes from your inner child. It comes from past versions of you. It comes from things that you've absorbed from your environment, especially for my empaths. A lot of the times, the thoughts and the emotions that you're feeling are not even yours in the first place. That's how I've healed a lot, is realizing that the fears that I had were never mine to hold in the first place. They were my mom's, or they were my dad's, or they were from my lineage, right? The fear of being judged, the fear of being seen, the fear of being, failure, being imperfect or not enough. Those are simply just things passing by, and you're the mountain. And you get to observe, oh, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling anxious in my chest. Why? Like, what is it that I'm avoiding? And you start to get curious with your own thoughts. Get curious. A lot of you guys know this stuff, but do you actually apply it though? A lot of you guys know a lot of shit, but knowing is not the same as applying. When is the last time you got curious with your thoughts, challenge your thoughts, did a real journal reflection? And it doesn't always have to be journaling. I don't really journal like that deep anymore about my thoughts unless it's like really recurrent. But like if I find myself get uncomfortable, or I notice a shift in my energy, a shift in my vibration, right? Maybe I'm really low in energy, and I just start plopping on the bed and I just start scrolling. I become the observer. I step outside of my body mentally, and I'm watching myself from this external 3D perspective, and I'm asking myself, why? What? What is it that I'm avoiding? What is it that triggered me to be scrolling on my phone right now and wanting to escape? Was it that, I got a result of something that I didn't like and it made me feel, some type of way, and I'm numbing, right? Instead of really dealing with the feelings or feeling. Maybe I'm feeling really overwhelmed, and instead of actually feeling in order to heal, because in order to heal, we have to feel, I'm pushing it away. I'm avoiding it because I don't want to feel it. And because I don't want to feel it, I'm doing these behaviors that actually end up taking me way farther away from my goals and who I want to be. So then in that moment, I asked myself, it's okay that you're scared. It's okay that you're overwhelmed. But how do you really want to approach this? What's a better way that we can respond to the situation? And so the more that we create awareness, the more that we challenge, the more that we get curious, compassionate curiosity is the way that I like to call it. Compassionate curiosity, not this judgmental, why don't you just, I just wish that girl, fucking relax. I love you, but you're doing more harm than good. And I know that like, you're just can be so hard on yourself, but that part of you just needs love. And so the more that we create that compassionate from your heart, like literally if you're listening to this, put your hand on your heart right now and breathe into your heart space. The more that we create compassionate curiosity around the thoughts, the behaviors, the self-talk, and we speak to ourselves the way that we would our own daughter or son or child or sister or loved one, right? The more that then we can then choose how we want to do things instead and send love and feel. The thoughts, the behaviors, the self-talk are not necessarily sabotaging you, but they're trying to protect you. They don't know any better. I was in the car with my sister today, and mom, if you're listening to this, I love you and I know you meant well. But I am going to use this as an example, um, because I know you meant well. And I'm sure you guys listening can apply this to a lot of people in your life that maybe they do mean well, but they're actually doing more harm than good. Like they're actually like limiting, like trying, like they're actually limiting you, they're actually holding you back in a way, right? And so, my sister, she's like a fucking Bambi deer. What I mean by that is like, I'm very like athletic and like strong physically. And, you know, the reason I got into pole fitness and pole dance and yoga is so I could be more fucking fluid because your girl is like a damn. I did cheerleading, so I'm very like stiff and yeah, and yeah. And if you're watching the video version of this, I'm doing like these motions that are very tight and rigid. And, I lift weights and it's very like that, right? And so I got into dance so I could be more fluid and, move my body in different ways. And and I promise I have a point here. Whereas my sister, she is like, she's built like the fucking, those like wavy, what are they called? Like those blow up, like like the arms waving in the air, like blow up things that you see at like car fucking places and auto places and whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about? That's how she's built. She's built like a fucking baby calf that was birthed out of a cow. So like I've been telling her she needs to get into weightlifting. She needs to improve her coordination and her posture because like obviously that creates like the opposite of what I am, which my body, I'm trying to be more fluid because I'm more rigid. She's like I could fucking poke her and she would fall 18 feet. So the point that I'm trying to make is she's a hostess. She wants to be a server. And, my mom on the phone, she's like, my sister's like, oh yeah, they want me to be a server. My sister's very clumsy. Like she's kind of like, very aloof. And to be a server, you need to be fucking on point. You need to be quick. You need to be on your feet. You need to like execute quick. You need to like, have your shit together. Not that she doesn't have her shit together, but again, like you need to be like, yeah, a lot of those things. I used to be a server. And shout out to my servers, period. Shout out to my hostesses too. But anyway, my mom's like, oh, honey, you're too clumsy for that, like, do you really want to be a server? Like, and I don't think my mom realized that she was coming off very limiting, but I could tell she just meant well. She just wanted, my sister to be in her comfort zone and, you know, you don't want to drop stuff and like you're very clumsy. And my sister's like, what the fuck, bro? You don't want me to make more money? Like, and then I came in and I'm like, she can become like coordinated. She can become, all of the things that you think that are, she's just not. Right. And so this is an example of someone who's just trying to protect you, but they're actually limiting you. Right. And we all have thoughts just like this of, oh, I want to be like, I want to be a server, or I want to do this, or I want to start this business, or I want to start putting myself out there in content, or I want to start going to the gym and like really taking my nutrition seriously. I want to hire Lexi and Crystal to work with me. Oh, but money. Oh, but time. Oh, but I have this coming up. Oh, but like I should probably, do XYZ first, or oh, maybe I should try to be more consistent on my own. Limitation. And these thoughts, these behaviors, these things are trying to protect you, but they're actually limiting you. And so the more that we can make conscious choices the more that we can make conscious choices from the position, from the frequency of who you want to be versus who you've been in those moments and how we want to respond versus how we want to react, then with each behavior, we start to rewire our identity. We start to see ourselves differently and others start to see us differently. Right? when I had my business, I had my business. When I was like in it, getting to the next level from 5K to 10K, and hiring a team, there was this limiting belief of like being irresponsible. Like I had never really like take care of my money that well. I still had a lot of habits that were very like lazy and unorganized. And so because of that, I saw myself, my identity was as someone who like couldn't be relied on, or I could be relied on, but like I was like irresponsible. So I didn't really trust myself with more responsibility because I also didn't like responsibility. It felt like a lot of pressure. It felt like, again, like I didn't trust myself. But the only way that I could build trust and leadership is through gaining more responsibility, which is out of my comfort zone. But now today, I see myself as a responsible woman. I see myself as someone who has the capacity to lead and to hold and to put myself out there because I've done it and I've proved it to myself through evidence, through the little things, through in those moments where, of course, I procrastinated. I've had weeks, I've had years where I've been stuck in the same, spot in business or in my journey because of subconscious fears of, not feeling like I was ready for the next level or whatever. But it's through that constant, you know, questioning myself and belief and curiosity and shadow work that I then rewire my identity and create safety in my body, my subconscious mind with who I want to become. Is this all making sense to you guys? Let me know. So, you can either be a powerful creator and responder of your life or a lazy, fearful reactor. You can react to everything. And it's okay to feel what you need to feel. Like, what I'm not saying is like be this stoic person who always feels positive all the time. I don't. I get angry. I get pissed. I get frustrated. I get sad. I let myself feel because in order to heal, in order to move through things, you have to actually feel your shit. In order to rewire your subconscious mind to manifest your dream body, you actually have to feel your shit. But it's because practice, because I'm not perfect, but because I practice feeling my shit, oh, I can move through it and I can choose how I want to respond. And this isn't to bring shame or guilt, but a lot of times we are aware of what we're doing. We're very aware. If you're listening to this, you're probably very self aware. And instead of guiding ourselves out of it through love and compassion, we tend to shame and guilt ourselves deeper into the pattern without even realizing it. So the part of you that is scared or fearful or unsure or burned out or overwhelmed doesn't need your punishment. It needs your permission. It doesn't need your judgment or to be pushed away or silenced. It needs your love, your compassion. It needs to be seen. And then it can feel safe to take a step back. And that voice, guys, that inner critic, that voice that's like fearful and what if and anxiety, whatever, she ain't going nowhere. That voice that tells you everyone's staring at you in the gym or you're never going to get the body you want or genetics or what's the point? Like, it's not going to go anywhere. That hyper vigilant part of you, the hyper independent part, it's not going to go anywhere, but it will, with practice, get quieter and quieter. It will go from taking up 60% of your dominant thoughts and vibration to then 35% to then 2%. And I am a living example of that. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it happens in an instant, sometimes it takes years. Okay, so to wrap up today's podcast, I am going to go into I'm going to leave you guys with some tangible action steps because I love tangible. I love leaving with like a tangible, like put it in my hand, something I can do. So, what we do at Embody Her, if you don't know what Embody Her is, it's my woman's online woman's holistic nutrition. Did I say woman? Take a shot every time I say woman's. It's our woman's online holistic nutrition and training coaching service. We help busy, high achieving women not only transform their bodies, but transform their lives and their minds. We take a mind, body, spirit approach to becoming your own body goals by fusing together strategy, strength, and soul to bridge the gap between your aesthetic goals and holistic healing and rewiring your subconscious mind. Because reaching your body goals is one thing, but making it stick having the lifestyle, being like the influencer you love to watch her day in the lives online, being like that, it requires rewiring, right? Because something that came easy to one person, it didn't come easy to us. It did not come easy to me. Not even the fucking slightest. If you look on my Instagram, I have over 1,500 posts. If you were to scroll to the bottom, bitch, I have been through it. Okay? You go to my YouTube channel, you scroll to the bottom. Don't scroll too far. Cringe, but we love her. I have been through it. I have been through it all. I've been overweight for my body. I've been underweight. I have been shredded. I have rebounded. I have struggled with binge eating, everything. But anyway, before we get off track, the reason why I share all of this is because through my experience, through my expertise, I realized that there was a gap in the nutrition and fitness coaching industry. People know how to give you a glute training program. People know how to teach you about your macros, which is all great. But in a world, in an industry where we're so focused on changing the external, we do not address enough of the internal. And I do think that that is changing. However, I'm also seeing this new obsession with like holistic wellness. But it's very like, again, trendy, and it's like not really rooted in true wellness. And true wellness is addressing your thoughts. It is addressing your nervous system. It is creating safety in the body. It's challenging yourself, all of that stuff. So I created this 3-tiered behavior change framework. Well, I implemented the behavior change framework that you learn in, psychology and, behavior when you're learning about behavior change, that we take our clients through and embody her to help them and you rewire your subconscious mind and not just do the things, but become the woman, the embodiment of the version of you that has the ideal body shape, lifestyle, health that you desire without the high highs and low lows. Actually, that's a part of the process. But to get to that place where you can maintain your desired physique, eating intuitively, and like all of the things. And this is what we call our fit body frequency framework, because it is in fact a frequency, not just a plan. And I love taking things that are metaphysical, unseen, and making it tangible for you, because I love structure. I love making things like clear and understandable. Your dream, the version of you that has a dream body and lifestyle, it's a frequency. And this is the pathway to getting there. So when you shift your frequency, AKA the energy, the mindset, the thoughts, the behaviors, the actions, and the self-concept you're operating from, everything starts to match that. So let's break it down. The first layer of our fit body frequency framework, and that ties into the behavior change aspect of it, the subconscious aspect, is identity. Identity. A lot of times we're focused on what do I need to do? And while that's important, it's not as important as who do I need to become? Who do I need to be? And who am I being when nobody's looking? Who am I being when I'm not getting immediate applause or validation or instant gratification or immediate results? Who am I being when results are fast and then they stall? Right? This is what we call being a woman of integrity. And this is a big theme of even my life right now. I would say I'm a woman of integrity, and I would say if you're listening to this, you are too. But let's be real, like none of us are perfect, and sometimes the way that we're showing up behind the scenes is not always an embodiment of what we say is important to us and what we preach and what we say is who we want to be, right? So while things are changing, your self-image has to shift, your self-concept, because you don't get what you want, you get what you believe you are. And how you change who you believe you are is by rewiring your limiting beliefs and also stacking evidence, tangible, real world evidence that you are who you say you are. Because you can journal, you can do affirmations, you can say that you have belief, but you're never actually going to believe you are who you say you are if you don't have actions to support it. It's just fact, right? Especially for someone who values like tangible evidence, right? And so tangible ways to start shifting your identity, your self-concept is through some of my favorite ways. I'll give some micro tips. One is what I like to call identity journaling, self-concept journaling. So writing daily as the version of you who already has the results you want. So if I'm the woman who prioritizes her body, sees her body as a temple, she feels clear, strong, sexy in her skin. What are the ways that you're already embodying that now? And what is the gap, right? We need to identify that gap because a lot of y'all are making, really good progress and you're embodying that, but you're also kind of ignoring those blind spots and acting like you're kind of sweeping it under the rug. And we need to be like really fucking real with ourselves, right? It's not time. It's not, that you're so stressed. It's that how are you actually managing your time? How are you actually managing your stress? How are you actually prioritizing your self-care? Okay? How are you operating in your relationships? What are you dealing with outside of your health and fitness that is affecting your health and fitness? And is that in alignment with the highest version of you? And like be really fucking real with yourself. The second that you take radical responsibility and get really real with yourself, that is when you actually take your power back and you can start to shift your self-concept. Okay? The next thing is in micro embodiment. So again, ask yourself throughout the day, like a lot of times we're looking for those big wins, like the scale moving or, the glute growth or these big crazy changes because social media has wired our brain for like instant gratification and needing like these big changes overnight. But what are the ways that you're already showing up as her? The small ways, right? Maybe it is through, drinking your water. Maybe it's through putting your phone down and going for a walk. Or instead of scrolling when you need to decompress, you put on some frequencies and lay down and stare at your ceiling or close your eyes and do some breath work, right? Maybe in the past, like you used to skip meals and undereat and forget to eat. And now you actually make sure that you have your breakfast in the morning and lunch and dinner. So, what are the ways that you're already embodying that now? And write that in your iPhone notes or your Android notes or on a piece of paper and stack up those ones every day. Every day, ask yourself, what are 3 ways that I showed up for myself, mind, body, spirit? They could be so stupidly small because what that's going to do is it's going to create positive reinforcement for your subconscious mind. And you're going to continue to want to embody that and have the motivation and continue to do that. Okay. And then lastly, reframe your language. A lot of you guys say, I'm trying, or I hope to. I like anytime any of my clients say that, I say, cut that shit. There's no hope. What the fuck are you talking about? Hope. I hope I can meal prep this week. What the fuck are you talking about? Hope. I am going to meal prep this week because I'm going to plan it out and I'm going to have a plan A, I'm going to have a plan B, and I'm going to make sure that I adjust if needed. Anytime you guys say I'm trying to, or I wish, or I hope to, you're may as well not do it. Because what you're really saying is, I don't trust myself or I don't know what to do. And you're putting yourself in a place of victim when you're not a victim. You're a badass bitch who can take control of her life and come up with solutions or invest in support because you're resourceful as fuck. And if you literally had to go on a vacation that you really wanted, you would make the money, you would have the money. Excuse me. And I want you to start reframing your language and say, I am, I will, but don't just say it, have a plan. And don't make that plan rigid, be flexible with it. So that way you don't feel like, oh, if I didn't do exactly what I said I was going to do, you start to feel like shit about yourself. But you at least set a plan in place. And if that plan doesn't go to plan, you have a backup plan and you know how to adapt, you know how to pivot. And again, guys, when you start to do these little things, your brain, you will just start to naturally see yourself as that kind of person. That's just how it works, right? Also, stop saying, I am just this way. I've always been this way. Or I've always been all or nothing. Or I'm just a perfectionist. Or like, I need you to, again, going back to what I said earlier, you need to be fucking like aware of your language because your words are spells. And with your words, your thoughts, your behaviors, like you are wiring your personality, which creates your personal reality. So if you see yourself as the person who's, I'm just not that type of person. Well, bitch, you can become that type of person. The fuck? And I know I cursed and I sound aggressive, but like, that's just how I talk. And it's because I'm passionate. It's because I love you. And that's what activates me. And I know it'll activate you. And so when we say this, it's really about the things that don't align with you. So when you say, oh, I just have to be all in or all out. Like if I'm not going to do it 100%, I don't want to do it at all. Well, how's that serving you? Is it actually helping you get results? Because the woman that's able to operate in the gray area and doesn't see herself that way, she's making more progress than you. So if that's not serving you, then we need to start seeing ourselves differently. And we need to start being flexible with our identity. And we need to start seeing that as your old identity. Yeah, the old version of you was all or nothing. Yeah, the old version of you needed everything to go right. Yeah, the old version of you used to beat herself up when things didn't go her way. That's the old Lexi. That's the old Vanessa. That's the old Caitlin. That's the old whoever. And then you have to start seeing that as the old parts of you. So, again, guys, like you can write out like your desired outcome, your desired version of you, and then what is all the ways that you kind of see yourself now, and what do you want to keep, and what is like a part of who you're no longer, what no longer is going to serve you. Okay. Second layer of this behavior change process, as part of our fit body frequency framework that we take all of our clients through at Embody Her, is habits. Hello. Your habits are the bridge between identity, who you believe yourself to be, and outcomes. But habits don't stick when you're just trying to be perfect. You're trying to change your lifestyle overnight. Okay. What happens is a lot of times we're trying to change our life from this very motivated place, and we try to change too much, too soon, without a clear, measurable process. And then we wonder why the habits aren't sticking. When I was trying to change my habit of going to bed super late and waking up super late, I'm like, I keep saying I'm going to go to bed at a certain time, but I'm not doing it. Like, I know it's not a me issue, it's a brain issue. It's like, how can I hack my brain, hack my habits? Because a lot of this is psychology, guys. And I was like, okay, well, one, I need to make it easier. I need to make it attractive. I need to make it doable for myself. So, what are some ways that I can do that? One of them was, swapping, going on my phone to reading a book, actually having like a list of things that I could do. It was leaving my phone in another room so that way I don't go on it first thing in the morning. It's like little things, leaving my gym clothes out at night. So that way I don't have to, I'm reducing the amount of decision making that I have to make. Okay. So start with 1 to 2 anchor habits, not 5. What are 2 to 3 habits that you know that if you changed or added, it would make your life better? It would improve your health. And this could be so easy, guys. And you want smart habits, smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and trackable. Okay. So, example, maybe 2 to 3 things is you want to start tracking your protein, taking a 10-minute walk after lunch, and drinking 30 fluid ounces. What the fuck? That's so low. 2 liters of water a day. And the systems to tracking your protein is you're going to pre-log for the next day. We teach our clients how to pre-log so they can just be on automatic and not have to think about what they're going to eat, or be at the end of the day with 30 grams of protein and not knowing what to do. Is what we teach in our program. The night before you get off your phone, you take 5 minutes, you go into MyFitnessPal, and you track in your protein for the day, for the next day. That's a system that makes a habit easier because you have a system. Versus track my protein. Okay, what does that mean? You're tracking throughout the day, you're tracking at the end of the day, and you wonder why you put it off, or that your brain just thinks that it's like a lot of work, because it is. Right? And then a 10-minute walk after lunch. That's habit stacking. You're stacking a habit with something that you already do every day. So you already have a lunch every day. You already have a 30-minute lunch, an hour lunch. Can you take 20 minutes to eat and watch your show, and then take a 5-10 minute walk outside or around the office or whatever to move your body and support circulation and get your steps in? And then water, again, just saying I'm going to drink my water. Again, what does that mean? We need to make it specific and measurable. So for me, I have my 40 fluid ounce, hydro jug. It's 40 fluid ounces. Do the math. If my goal is 80 fluid ounces of water a day, then that means I need to drink 2 of those jugs. And my goal is to finish 1 jug by 12 p.m. and another jug before 5 p.m. That's super fucking doable. Super doable. See how we're making it specific, measurable? This is what we help our clients do in our coaching program. So if you need help with making habits stick, you want to improve your productivity and your routines and have more structure and learn the psychology behind actually changing your habits and your behaviors so you can be consistent, you can apply to book a free 10-minute discovery call in the show notes below. Again, this is a non-salesy, non-pressure. I don't need to pressure you to do shit. Like, I have a full roster. Coach Crystal's roster is like super close to being capped. Like, we need to make sure you're a good fit too. You know what I mean? It's really allowing you the opportunity for us to discover. So it's called a discovery call. What are your goals? What are your struggles? What's the gap? What's holding you back? Have you ever worked with a coach? Is that something that you would be interested in? Yes. Okay, cool. What we'll do is we'll book a second call where we can go into the program, create a clear action plan, go over a payment plan, investment. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And if no, cool, I'll send you on your way. That's why I only start with 10-minute calls, because I'm not wasting time on a 45-minute call for you to not even be ready to do it. Okay. So that sounds like something you would be interested in. Book a call below. Okay. And again, stack your habits, something you already do. So maybe you have a morning coffee every day. Can you have a breakfast with your coffee and practice gratitude, journal gratitude, or play affirmations while you're drinking your coffee, while you're having your breakfast instead of scrolling? Okay. And then a big thing for me is romanticizing my habits. So making them more rituals, because when I look forward to it and I romanticize it and it makes me connect to my feminine energy, I'm more able to be consistent versus if I'm seeing it as this routine that I have to be disciplined with. It's like, bro, I'm gonna just fucking scroll. Okay. And then remove friction. Okay. So again, if your gym clothes, you haven't done your laundry then, and you don't know what you're gonna wear, like, you have to remove the friction to the thing that you need to do. Okay. Simplify. Habits stick when they're designed for your nervous system, not just for your ego. Ego habits are like things that look really good on paper and make you feel like you're changing your life overnight, but you're like not able to stick with it. Habits that are designed for your nervous system feels like it's not enough, but you're actually able to stay consistent. And these are the layers of rewiring your subconscious, guys. When you shift your identity, your self concept, you start to work on your environment, your habits, your mindset, the way you see yourself, then you get different outcomes, which are the last layer. So when identity, habits, actions are aligned, outcomes become different and they're inevitable. This is how we manifest. Okay. So this is when you feel strong, sexy, and grounded in your body. You don't sabotage your progress every weekend. You stop chasing motivation because momentum is built into who you are. And you know that when you take action, you gain clarity, you gain momentum, you gain motivation, because the woman you've always known you could be is already available for you on the other side of the shit that you don't want to do, out of your comfort zone. And we just need to simplify. And that's what we do as coaches. Our goal is to get you clear on your goals, build the clear roadmap to get there, reduce friction, simplify, play trial and error, and be your guide, your support, and provide you structure to get there. Okay. So again, this is the core of the work we do inside Embody Her. We don't just give you macros and workouts, although we will teach you that. We help you rewire your mind, support your nervous system, and help you become the woman that operates from a whole new frequency. And our clients are seeing incredible results. They're transforming not only their physiques, but their relationships. They're attracting better partners. They're making more money. They're attracting better opportunities. Because when you operate from this higher frequency, how could you not? But it doesn't come without the shadow work, without the internal work, without looking at your wounds, your triggers, and those things that are literally running your fucking journey. Okay. So if you're ready to rise, not just in mind, not just in body, I mean, but in mind, energy, and identity, again, apply for a coaching call below. All right, guys. Now I want to leave today's podcast episode. We're at 50 minutes now. So I would love to hear you guys' feedback. I really love pouring into you guys, making impact, just sharing, what has really impacted me in my own journey and our clients. And I would love to hear from you. Like sometimes you guys are silent, sometimes you guys share, but I would love to hear. Just send me a DM, leave a review. But I'm going to read you guys this one quote from the book, The Pivot Year. Okay. In everything you choose, you must first ask, but what will this do to my soul? Will it bring me closer to a heavenly state of being or anchor me into the ache of this world? Will it make me more of the person I was meant to be, or will it distract me from the true work? Will it pay the bills but bankrupt my being? Will it impress others but disappoint the child inside of me waiting to see what I do with my freedom? Will I arrive at the end of my life proud that I did this? Will I do this now, or will I wait until I am forced to make the decision I already know is right today? Will I spare myself the suffering, or will I have the courage? And that is what I'll leave you guys with today. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. And let's fucking build our dream lives, bodies, and mindsets. Goodbye.